Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And today's Friday, so that means it's Friday Friendship Club. And I've been picking olives like crazy all morning and bearing the heat. We've got a heat wave here, but I've got to get them done. And I got them finished just before lunch. It's 2 p.m. here in Cyprus. And I got them finished just before lunch. And I thought, great, this is a perfect time today for the live. This is a scheduled one. And it's a perfect time because it's so hot right now out there. But I want to start cutting back all the olive trees. This is something you do every year you pick your olives. And most of the trees I cut right down, made them very low last year. So that's why I've been so super quick picking my olives, not because there's less, but because they're all reachable and you haven't got matty bits and hanging down bits. But there are a few trees that I didn't quite manage, really big ones and high ones. So I'm doing those. And also, even if your trees are short and lovely, each year the middles on the main branches and trunks, you'll get so many new shoots out there, it starts to look a mess. So it's going to take me a long time to get round to get them all cut back. My aim is to get them done before Christmas. Yes, that's how long it's going to take me solely on my own doing them. So I will be doing that. And I have said, please note that if I'm still replying to messages and doing my lives and posting my videos, but of course I don't have any other free time to come and visit your channels. I pop in an odd one here and there, literally, if I'm just got the computer on that I've just posted and I might see a message pop up or something like that. And I have watched a couple of lives that have been just before my lives. So obviously that's normally worked out. If I'm not rushing or trying to sort things out for my lives, then obviously I've jumped on those. So do bear with me. I will be back following you all. You know, I'm a great follower and supporter of your channels. So keep sending me your messages and I will be back. You will not be forgotten. So I haven't really prepared anything today. I normally just chit chat with you, but obviously doing the olive trees, nothing else has happened here. I'm oblivious to anything else, just getting the job done. But because I only had 2 more trees to do today, yesterday Mike said, we're going out. We're going out. I'm going to take you to Jumbo. He had to go all the way into town, which is over an hour away. He had to go for his car insurance renewal. That runs out on Sunday, so he had to go anyway. So we don't like to go that far and do nothing, do one thing and that's it. So we went all the way over there. We did that. He wanted to get petrol and diesel, so he went and got that, and he said, I'll take you to Jumbo. I had a big spend up there. I have a list. What I do, I have a little notebook in my handbag. I keep in my handbag, and then if I need something or run out of something or think, oh, I'll look at that where I go shopping, as in Jumbo type shopping, then I write it on the bit of paper in the notebook, and then when we go shopping, I've already got a list. Perfect. So I said, yes, my little list has built up. I couldn't get everything I wanted, and I did get a lot of stuff. A few bits I didn't have on my list need, but I got, and a couple of real fun items. I treated myself. There's 2 real fun items in there. And there was so much stuff I got that I have actually, when we came back, I just quickly filmed all the items, and I was trying to remember all the prices. I couldn't remember all the prices, so I've got the receipt. And if I said any prices wrong or didn't add the price as I was filming, then I will add that as well. That will be on my other channel. Let me just pop it up for those of you who have not met my other channel yet. Do go and have a look. Completely different content from this channel, so do have a look here. I run it on the ticker tape. It's New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. So I will be editing that at some point. Editing, it's not a big edit, so it shouldn't take me too long, of everything I bought. But I'm going to share a very few items that I did buy there with you now. And the reason I'm sharing that is because this channel is where I mostly show my crafts. Although on the New Beginnings channel, I do actually every live on a Wednesday, I do share my current crafts I'm working on. So my lives on Wednesdays are where you will see my current crafts. And let me just tell you the time of those. The translation, I always say, if I don't say your time translation, let me know what your time is versus my time, and then I can add that as well. So the Wednesday lives, I do Mondays and Wednesday lives on New Beginnings, and they are both the same time, but the Wednesday one is where I always show my crafts, what I'm working on. And the times of that is UK is 3:30 p.m. EST is 10:30 a.m. Central is 9:30 a.m. PST is 7:30 a.m. So they're the times I have to link those for you. So do take a look there. But now I'm going to show you what I've got. I've started embroidery. If you want to know my journey of embroidery, that is on the Wednesdays of the times I've just given you on my other channel. I do cross stitch. I've done cross stitch for quite a few years, and also on that channel you'll see I won some auction bids of cross stitch stuff, so you'll see that on that channel as well. But these are just a few of my threads, and these are ones I won in, oh no, these were the ones I already had. The ones I already had, and they were color coded. I did a lovely job of color coding them, but now I've put them in number order of the type of thread, the color of the thread. I did prefer it color coded. I might switch it back. And the bits that fell out was I was gifted from a follower of my channel some threads, which I was absolutely thrilled with. Particularly the gold one, because I don't have anything like that. There's a purple as well. So they're the ones I already had. And then I keep all my cross stitch stuff in this tub or crate, whatever you want to call it. And that's so if I go out in the garden, it's the current stuff, the threads and the current stuff I'm working on in there. And then if I go in the garden, I don't have to sort out, just pick it up, take it out with me. These are the threads I won at the auction. and I had to sort them all out and work out what numbers they were. They weren't all like that. They were all in a right old jumble and everything. And with that as well came this embroidery guide colour card. So it's got some embroidery stitches on, which I've only just realised is on there. But it's the colour chart of the threads. So the ones without numbers, as long as they were this brand, this is DMC, yes, DMC. If I had the, you know, when you get them new, they have the label round, but they'd lost their numbers. I looked it up on the chart and then worked it out from there. So there's that. Also threads. Now these, half of them, more than half of them I already had, and the rest were auction wins, but they are the same brand, so they're all in there together. So they're mixed with the ones I already had. They're a different brand. I got lots of other bits and pieces. You'll have to go and there was 3 videos of the auction lots because I won 2 auction lots, and then there's a video of me sorting them all out, collating them together, because some of the patterns kits had part of it in one auction lot and part in another auction lot, and there was many other things like thread organisers and things in there, many things, but that's not what I want to show you today. What I want to show you is I had this, I bought this a long time ago. It's just like a divider, you can put tools in or whatever. It's got compartments, and this is both for my cross stitch and what I'm doing now is embroidery. I keep all the bits and pieces in there. It's very hard to show you so I don't tip it out. Scissors nearly came at you. These are fold up scissors, but they're great for that. I made lots of these for your thread. I just cut up old birthday and Christmas cards. I had one already. This is how I like to store my cross stitch threads. So I just use old birthday and Christmas cards, and I use one as a template. So I've got lots of those. I've got pins. Now I use pins because I don't really know how to do things properly. So when I do cross stitch and I'm working out, I don't know how to calculate when you're changing the size of a pattern to bigger or smaller Ada or IADA material. So I count it out with the pins, where how big it will be, and position it. So I use pins a lot. This is an old butter dish, like a shop bought one. I covered it, and I keep this in here because when you've got little ends and you're cutting bits off, I'm normally not sitting near a bin or if I'm outside, so I just take the lid off and toss in any little ends, and then when it's full up I can empty it. Also in here we had these, I think they came with the sewing machine when we were given the sewing machine, and I'm not sure, it's kind of called thread, I don't really know quite what it is. There's 2 reds and a yellow, and I didn't know what to really use it for, so I've been using them up to practice embroidery stitches because that's what I'm getting into right now, embroidery. And this is a cross stitch bag I made. You would have seen this on this channel, cross stitch bag, and I'm using that for embroidery that is not cross stitch. I won't go through everything because I've shown this on my other channel, but what I bought at Jumbo for my embroidery, I got a pack of these. Now they were in a packet. Threaders, needle threaders. Now I knew of these, but I didn't actually know how you use them. I know now. It's so simple, silly me. So there was a pack of 4 threaders. And what I've done, I've got an old cassette, music cassette box. I've kept all my old music cassettes. I've thrown away the actual cassettes, but I kept the cases. They come in handy for all sorts of little things. And I just cut up a card, another birthday card, So that makes it look pretty, and I'm keeping those in there. I use these for many things, hair bands like hair ties and bobby pins, people call them hairpins, slides, hair slides, all sorts of things. So that's a good use of those. I want to now find a container of some form for all these bits I'm showing you, because these will be for embroidery. I bought myself a ruler. I have tons of rulers, but I was wondering if I could use that to keep my embroidery equal lengths. I don't know if that will work. If you do embroidery, give me some total beginner tips. I know nothing. So obviously I didn't want to use an old ruler because it would be dirty. So this will be my ruler for embroidery. So I wondered if I have a perception problem, part of my brain damage. I can't look at something and see it's even or straight. I just can't tell if things are straight or even. So this is why I'm thinking something like this. I did buy these. Now, as you see, I've got plenty of threads, but these were, I think, €1.29, and there's quite a lot there. So I want to see, it doesn't seem to have a brand on it. So I want to just see the quality of these, and it's a little bit of everything. So rather than using my cross-stitch thread, I thought I'd use this for embroidery for now. So I have a separate box for embroidery. Then I've been asking people about how you keep straight lines in the embroidery. Can you draw, if you're doing it on normal material, can you draw lines? Somebody recommended you can use a 5B pencil, and I couldn't find a 5B pencil. So I didn't get that. I'd have to go to an art shop, I think, for that, for 5B. I did find a little pot of tailor chalk. Now, in my mind, that might be too thick, but I know that comes off easily. So it's a little mini, it's quite sweet. I like that. It's got a lid, little mini. So I bought that. I can't remember top of my head what the tailor's chalk was, but as I say, if you look in the video that I'm going to put on my other channel, I will do the prices. So I think that is really sweet. And then people have talked about, I can't remember the names of them, they got weird names, but different sorts of pens you can use for embroidery. If any of you know them, please write them down for me, comment and write them down. But I can't order from Amazon or anything like that in Cyprus. So it's no good saying, oh, you can get it from Amazon. You can't get Amazon delivered to Cyprus. And they've been talking about different pens, but they seem to be, from what I understand, you can draw your lines. Most embroidery stitches, it appears, need parallel lines, and then you stitch in the middle or on those two lines. I've only just started practicing stitches. But they all say, as far as I'm aware, these pens, you draw on with them, but then you have to wash your fabric afterwards and wash the lines out. I don't really want to do that. I just want something that will disappear, basically. So I found this. Now, this wasn't for fabric. It's just a pen, a normal pen that you rub out like with a rubber, a type of rubber. So it's a pen. Let me see if I can show you so it's just a normal, like a biro ballpoint pen, but you rub it out there. Now that sounds perfect to me. So I could actually leave the lines, but if any parts show, rub them out. The only thing is this says paper for paper. Well, obviously I'm going to be using fabric. I can't see why it wouldn't work. If it does work, I think this was something like €4.99. I might be totally wrong on that. I shouldn't have even said price because I'm not sure now. It might have been less. But I thought if that works, I would be thrilled with that. That will do me, because I've got a feeling these other pens people talk about are expensive. So that would work. The only other thing it said on the packet, as I say, it's for writing in biro and rubbing out biro. It does say it's suggested you don't use this pen when writing on legal documents. Really? So I'm going to give that a try. I think it might depend on what fabric I use. At the moment, I'm just using scrap bits of fabric to practice stitching on. So that's all I'm doing at the moment. But I want to find a bag or something where I can actually keep the embroidery stuff in. I've got that bag I showed you, the Flintstone bag. I've got that, but all the little bits and pieces like the pen and whatever else. And I have been practicing from a booklet I've got, which is 100. Oh, here it is. I also got this from the auction, 100 embroidery stitches. So I've been following as best as I'm able how to do stitches, and this was my very first attempts. As you say, not very even. What I've done there is the very first attempts of each stitch. The numbers represent the number in the book, so if I like one, I think, oh, that's a good one, I'll use that. I can just look up in the book the number, because I can't remember all the names straight away. So that is my very first attempts at some stitches. I did another one. Where's the other one? It's on a loose bit of fabric somewhere. Find it. Here. This one. So they're not so good. I like 55. I know some need to be made smaller. As I say, it was just trying to, this is me following the instructions rather than worrying about neatness and whatever else. It was just, I have trouble following instructions and guides. So that's what's been going on there, basically. I'm starting embroidery. And the only embroidery I've ever done before was in high school. For the first year of high school, so I was age 11, in case you don't know what high school is, age groups, because I know different school names are different ages. In England, high school, first year, you're age 11, and we had to do that. Now, I like that, and I don't remember sort of how to do any of it, but you'll see I've actually done some of those stitches already. And that's the only embroidery I've ever done in my life. And that was it. I think we were shown a few stitches and we had to make a picture out of some stitches. And that was it. So it's getting back into it. I'm enjoying it because it's a new challenge for me. It takes me a long time to actually stitch because of my disabilities and my hands and hand-to-eye coordination and just figuring out how to do things. So any tips I would really appreciate. A total beginner, just tell me the silly things that you would assume somebody would know. They're the sort of tips I want. How to draw the lines on, and how to decide what stitch to use. You just look. I see I've got on Reddit. On Reddit, I've joined an embroidery thread, that's funny, embroidery group, a thread, and there's not a lot of tips there at the moment, but you could ask, and anyone who asks a question, I go and look. They seem to mostly people be using silk stitch and what's the long and short stitch, long stitch. That seems to be very popular to use, those two, but particularly this silk stitch. And looking at it, I'm not over keen on either of those particularly. I guess they're for filling large spaces. I don't know enough yet to know what stitches would be best for what kind of things and how many threads to use. I'm guessing mostly 2 threads, mostly. But as I say, if you've got any tips or hints, then let me know. And all I'm going to do today is we'll play a quick game. We'll play a quick game because I want to get back out to doing those trees. It's now 2:30. I will be all right out in the heat because I'm underneath a massive tree, and that's where I'm going to be cutting. I've got my wheelbarrows there ready, and I'm actually cutting the hangy leaves. Think of weeping willows. You know how they hang down in thin. It reminds me totally of weeping willow. So I've got so much like that, and that all needs to come out. So what I'm doing is cutting a thread off and then snipping small into my wheelbarrow, and then using the green leaves to fill up the bottom of raised beds and hugelkultur beds, so that as I do a tree, all the waste is gone, rather than what I've been doing the last 2 years. I do big cutting, put it in a pile, and I still haven't finished those piles yet. So anything new I cut, I want to get rid of straight away. So I'm going to be a lot slower, but when it's done, it's done. Okay, the question is, if you could meet any famous person, who would it be? I talk a lot about how I don't believe in famous people as in actors, actresses, footballers. To me, someone famous is someone who earns people knowing them, and to be famous, everyone in the world should know who they are. So I'm talking more historical people, inventors, and those kind of people. If I could meet someone famous, I think it's got to be some inventor of something so amazing that wasn't even perceived. I mean, things like television and those kind of things still fascinate me. Even a telephone, I understand the concept, don't get me wrong, but those kind of things were just mind-blowing at the time. A telephone, even telegraph at its time was something big, but a telephone, television, obviously computers, it's still pretty awesome, is it not? Is it not pretty awesome? So perhaps inventors of those, I think they would just be inspiring to meet and see how they came up with certain concepts. So that kind of thing. The next Q&A question is, one thing that makes me uncomfortable is... Now I'm going to say uncomfortable in a way you might not take that to be, but particularly doing the gardening at the moment, if you've got both hands full, or you're up a tree, or you're cutting with a reciprocating saw or something like that, and a fly lands on you, I don't like things on me because that distracts me. And particularly if I've got the saw, I'm more bound to go like that to get rid of the fly. Not that I realise it, but my mind gets distracted in the wrong way, and instead of thinking, well, I'm not going to let go of a tree if I'm halfway up a tree, so I'll try and do this. So that makes me very uncomfortable when you get a fly, or if I hear a fly in the bedroom at night, or a mosquito or something like that, I cannot sleep until I've got rid of it. So for me, I'm taking the uncomfortable to mean that. So that is something that makes me uncomfortable for sure. Okay, the next Q&A. Name something that puts you in a bad mood. What puts me in a bad mood? Just nastiness, any form of nastiness, shouting, people swearing and cussing, just generally not pleasant behaviour. If you have to stand it for some reason, I don't like that. I don't stand for things like that. So that kind of puts me in a bad mood. Or if you're having a really good day, or something good's happened, or you've accomplished something, and you just say to someone, oh, I did that, and they're like, oh, right, okay. And they just try and bring it all down, or they want to reflect good on themselves, so therefore they have to down what you've done or your happiness. Yeah, that can, you've just got to walk away from those sort of people. The next question is, what's something you really look forward to? Finishing a job. Finishing a job. I love to have days of, when I say nothing, I mean no task that I have to do. There's always something. I never have a day of nothing, but a day of my own time. Shopping. I do like to go to Jumbo particularly. So yeah, when tasks are done, I try and do everything in the morning of a normal day that I have to do things, and then have more free time in the afternoon to do a hobby, reading, cross stitch, going for a walk, which is seasonal because obviously this time of year I couldn't go for a walk in the afternoon. So a day of nothing is a good day because then I can go for a walk early. I like harvesting, but I don't like prepping and preparing the stuff I harvest. But to see things growing, yeah, just things done, things accomplished. Yesterday, when I finished outside, it was dark. I just had fun putting the things I bought away, and you'll see it in my video on the other channel, what else I've bought and what I've done with it, which meant rearranging my room a little bit and changing things up. So yes. Okay, what's the time? We do a couple more and then I'll have to go because I want to get things done. Something you're not very good at. Most things now with my disabilities, but I will strive and continue to try and do most of those things. I'm not very good at. Well, I've talked about seeing things straight. I get very mixed up with minor things now, number things. I'm not dyslexic at all, but I might as well be now with numbers and dates, and don't ask me date, how long have you lived there, and these kind of things. I have what I call a cheat sheet. I have all those things written down because I can't tell you. I can't tell you how old I am. I can tell you what year I was born, but I can't tell you how old I am. I can work it out, but it takes me ages. I'm like a child. I have to use my fingers to count and so on and so forth. So that I did learn piano stroke keyboard, self-taught. I never had a lesson. I did learn that, but I can't do anything like that anymore. But I've never been good at that. I sort of memorized how to play tunes. I wasn't very good at reading music fast. I didn't do it quick, like often enough. So I used to learn a tune, literally remember it, and then I could play the can really fast. That was my little party piece. I used to play the can really fast, as I say, not reading music. I used to play music from Greece. I played some John Lennon tunes, and do you know what, musically, some of his tunes, his songs, the music is really easy. Imagine is one of the easiest tunes to play. If you're learning piano or music, play Imagine. It's simple. It's really simple. So that. Okay. Question. What do you value in other people? Honesty and coming forward and saying something, just having brevity to say something. I'm not talking about nasty things. Let's say, for example, a good example is I was a dance teacher for many years, and when a child left for some reason, most of them were too afraid to just come and say, I won't be able to come anymore because, or whatever. They would just disappear. And if I saw them in the street or something, I'd say, oh, you know, you just didn't come anymore. They would say things like, oh, I was too scared to come and tell you. So just having brevity to come and say something like that. So being accountable for yourself. So I value that. Just kindness, putting yourself out for other people. And I believe that people with the least give the most, whether it's their time, their caring, or giving what they can, as in help. So I always say, I can't give you monetary things, but I can give you time. And often in our area, we go and help someone and they give something back. And then if you need help, you can ask other people. So that. Okay, last question, and then I will go. What's one thing you would never wear? Oh, that's easy. Straight out my head, I can tell you. I don't like to wear green. I do have a green sweatshirt, but it's a sort of, I suppose, a teal, more of a teal sort of green rather than green. I don't like to wear beige because beige kind of washes me out, particularly if you wear everything beige. So I don't wear beige. I don't like to wear red. I do have a red top, but I don't really like to wear red. And pink. Now I'm a bit more into pink now. I do have a few pink things. So it's more what colours I don't like to wear. So you would never see me wear those colours particularly. I like to wear black and blues mostly. And I've got into purple. I do quite like purple. So they're the things I wouldn't wear. I don't worry about fashion. If I like something, I'm comfortable in it, I will wear it. But I wouldn't do those terrible fashion things, bad fashion things like socks and sandals, you know, that type of thing. I wouldn't do that. I do like hats, but hats don't suit me either. So not often do I wear a hat, but I do like hats. What else wouldn't I wear? I would never wear my night clothes outside, even if I'm just going out in the garden. I'm one of those people, I would get dressed before I go outside, even though I'm remote and there's no one around. I wouldn't wear my pajamas or dressing gown around the house if we had guests. I wouldn't do that. What else wouldn't I wear? As I say, I wouldn't wear something just because it's considered fashionable. I wouldn't wear anything see-through. And I wouldn't wear anything with without supportive underwear, let's say. Yes, I think that's it. I wouldn't wear a hairpiece. No, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. I wouldn't wear my husband's underwear or socks. Tell me in the comments below, what would you never be seen wearing? Yes, tell me that. Excuse me. That would be really funny. So yes, tell me in the comments below what you would never be seen wearing, and let's see who's got the funniest, honest answer. So there's that. Okay, we're finished there then for today. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget, if you're here watching this back later after it's live, do drop a comment and say hello, because you know I love to say hello to each and every one of you, and thank you for your support. So I will be back here again on Monday. Monday will be on my other channel. I gave you the times of those lives, and Monday on my other channel is lots of themes. We have all sorts of themes. We have little short segments on Monday, such as knacks and hacks, little tips. We have things that I'm making. We have pastimes, so things that people used to do to pass times. We have blasts from the past, which I often talk about the 70s, but it could be other things as well. We have jokes, quotes, puns, and other fun. What to watch on your coffee break. Now, I will be mentioning again, watch my live on this channel from yesterday, and you will see something. If you watch YouTube or you are a YouTuber, please make sure you watch my live on this channel from yesterday. It is titled about YouTube, so you will see that. So we'll do also maybe some gardening stuff on Monday. Hope to see you there. Thanks so much again for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And please help me build up my watch hours on this channel. I'm fine for subscribers, but I need to monetize and help my frugal life push forward. So thanks again. See you next time. I've just popped back on because I've just seen the comments. We have Glitterworld watching. She is a dear supporter of my channels. So we'll just say, check out Glitterworld's channel. And I'll see you